Hey everybody. Okay, so I'm having some internet issues right here and right now. It took me forever to get in, but I wanted to get this started and talk to you while I try and pull up some of the stuff I need to pull up and get everybody on the same page and rolling here. Um, it has been one of those days already, but you know it's good. It's because I'm putting that stuff into the world and making actions happen and eliminating the distractions, which is what we're here to talk about. So I'm gonna sneeze real quick. Sorry. Oh, looks like I'm having webinar jam issues. Let's see if I can get that fixed here. My computer is slow today. Let's see if I can get going. But I'm talking to you, and it should be recording because I'm live. And if you're there, I have no idea because my app's not opening. But one of the things that's happening for me is that, I had my heart surgery and I just like clicked into this whole new thing where my heart works now and my energy's back. And so I've been waking up and I've been energized and ready to go. And, the next thing you know is like, what's the first thing that I usually try to do? I turn on my phone. Well, what happens is because I turn my phone off at night. That's a big thing for me. There's nothing I can do while I'm sleeping. There's some rules in my life that I have from past history. Like, if I go on a trip and somebody dies or goes to the hospital, there's nothing I can do from around the world. And I believe in, and I know this may not be a belief for everybody, but, just let people just go enjoy their vacation or wherever they're doing. And when they come back, they'll deal with it, I just learned that lesson a long time ago from something that happened, and it's something I believe in. So that's also why I turned my phone off at night. It's like there's nothing I can really do in the middle of the night, and by the time I wake up, I can handle it. But so I turn on my phone, and then I just have all the stuff that's kind of happened because I work with people all over the world. I work with people a lot on the East Coast, and I get messages while I'm sleeping. And again, there's nothing I can do, but that's probably my number one distraction is that I just get lumped into, oh my gosh, this person messaged, boom, 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 and I got to get to all that stuff. So how do you kill that distraction? I gave you a couple things. Is learn how to turn off your phone. And I do that in multiple times during the day. So let's focus on that right now. The first one that I learned and was probably the most important thing is when you're going to go meet with somebody, a meeting or a friend or whatever that may be, where you need to be focusing your attention on that person, I don't bring my phone in. It's not as important as the person that's in front of me. It's a distraction. It's something that I'm so tied to that I'm always gonna, at some point there might be a dull or they go to the bathroom and then I start looking at the phone and it's like, why did I need to do that? Because then my mind goes to wherever that may be, and then I lose my connection with that person, and they notice it right away. And I lose my connection with people a lot of times when they're there and they need to check their phone, or, oh, this person's there, oh, and they may need to get a hold of me. No, they don't really need to get a hold of you. They don't. We used to live in an age where we didn't have cell phones, and we drove down the road and we got to the next destination and we dealt with how we dealt with it. You really truly don't need to deal with somebody right then and there. There's not really ever an emergency that you need immediately. There just isn't. And you have to get that in your head. And I know it's hard for people sometimes, but it's such a distraction. And there's other things like, right now I'm trying to, I had some internet problems, but I left my email thing on. So my emails pop in while I'm doing this webinar. Well, a couple of emails popped in because I forgot to turn it off. Well, that's a distraction for me talking to you. And, just as I was coming on here, my Facebook was open and people are sitting there messaging me on Facebook because they want to talk to me. And that's a distraction. So I need to learn to turn that off a little earlier. And those are the importance. Like, hey, somebody, actually Celia, my partner, said she just called me and I said, hey, I'm starting my class, and I turned my phone off to do this class. So you got to learn the barriers and the boundaries that you have to have. Your time is your time. I've got a fire to put out with a former client. I actually had to fire a client yesterday. It was really hard. But they it's like that blame game. They want to blame everybody else but themselves. But if you look at the pattern and the history and everything that you try to teach and work with them, it's just a pattern of disaster, and it's just going to sink me as at the same time. And so, I have to put a fire out this afternoon because that owner goes home to his wife and starts saying this and this and this. And obviously there's one story, and it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to have to tell it flat out, especially when we had a meeting to fire you and everything was on the table, and the distractions just start to happen and stuff. And you have those things that you have to put out, and the fires you have to put out. But the number one distraction, I think, in people's lives is their cell phone. You gotta eliminate it. You gotta learn how to turn it off. You gotta learn how to turn off your emails. You gotta learn how to turn off your notifications. You gotta learn how to turn off your Facebook. You gotta turn it off. People live on Facebook, and it's the biggest distraction, time soaker in the world. I go on there because I do a lot of business on there. But what I did, and I'm going to teach you this is something that I think people really need to utilize, is I've completely shut off my chat to every single person in my list. I have over, I don't know, I got 1,000 something, 1,500, I don't know how many people, friends on there. And I only have it open to like 4 or 5 people that see that I'm online, because I don't want people to just jump in and distract me. There are people that I do need to talk to. I need to talk to Celia, who's my partner, and I need to be able to answer her on a quick basis if I'm in the middle of something. And that's necessarily a distraction. That's just part of my workflow. So I want you to understand this thing. So I have to turn on Facebook specifically for this, because I want to tell you the steps on exactly how to stop that kind of madness of Facebook from happening to you. So what you want to do is, okay, so you go to your chat, your messenger, and usually it's like right there where you open a box, and then you can turn your chats on and off with a very simple click of the button. For some reason, it's not popping up my chat box right now. So I'm having fun internet stuff. But what you do is you can turn off and on. So I'll turn that off at the moment because somebody's trying to pitch me something. Turning off your chat to everybody, and except for, and that's what it says. So turn off your chat to everyone except for, and then you can type in the people that you would want them to be able to see that you're there. It does not mean that people can't message you. Right? That's fine. I mean, I have people that message me no matter what, but it doesn't mean that I'm online. It doesn't mean that I'm accessible. So it just means that they can't see that I'm live. So they can send a message and I can get to it when it's my time or whatever that time is to get to it. But that's an important thing. You also have to limit your Facebook time. It's just like television. You need to limit your television. Last week I got into this pattern and hadn't played a video ever, and I sat down to play this game that I had gotten a long time ago, and it was late at night. It was like later in the afternoon, so it had nothing to do with what my normal progress of the day is, but I ended up playing and I got stuck into it, and by the time I kind of looked up and realized what time it was, it's like 12:30 at night. I'm like, holy cow, that's going to wipe out my next day. So I had to go, whoa, okay, so if I want to play a game, which is okay, it's okay to do things that you love, I have to limit that time. I have to kind of put a timer to it. So believe it or not, what I did is I actually put a timer to it. I actually said, hey, I have a half-hour time that I just want to like blow my mind out and get rid of my day. And so I put a timer to it. When that timer was up, it means save the game and walk away. I mean, just literally have to have that belief system in you. The other thing is the TV. I only watch TV of stuff that I DVR. I really do. I've completely limited. In fact, actually, I haven't watched TV in a couple days now. I watched the recording Sunday night of Big Brother. But that's the kind of thing, is that I have so many more important things in my day to help me grow. And so you got to kill those distractions. So in your focus planner, when you're actually allotting those times, I even allot those times that I need for my enjoyment. And that's really important to stick to that. So a planner is an important thing. Now, I just talked to somebody, and she probably watched this, and she says, I needed something digital. I needed something that I don't have to print out and I have to write and all that stuff. I totally disagree with that. Now, if you want to schedule time in your phone for it to alert you to things that you have to do, Google Calendar. It's free. It's available. I use it all the time. It sends messages to my phone to tell me that I have something coming up in a half an hour or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Use that. But buying something that has a digital component to it so you can schedule your honestly, you're wasting your time. You're killing yourself. You're destroying everything that is you and distracting yourself from being and connecting to what your true schedule is. You've eliminated that personality of who you are, and you've given it up to somebody else. And the problem with that is you should never give anybody that power. Nobody has control over you. And you've given a computer control over you. Facebook is a computer giving you control over you. I mean, it's true. You sit there for hours and you're looking at what people posted and you're posting stupid things. And right now it's this political game and people are arguing. And I don't see anybody who's ever made an argument to change anybody's mind. And, you know, people are like becoming non-friends because of it. And, you know, what I ended up doing, my feed got so ugly, I was using the unfollow button. It's not that they're not my friends. It's I don't want to see it. So unfollow, I go into their profile, unfollow. I see nothing from them because they're throwing political stuff out there. I want to see positive things. My newsfeed is full of wonderful things and wonderful postings and really progressive and just projecting people to better lives. That's what I see. And as soon as I see a political thing from somebody, they go, hey, I never post political, but blah, 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 blah. You're unfollowed. You're gone until at least political season's over. But I don't know. It's really crazy right now. So the reality is we're all in this together. We're one world in this together. I'm working with people around the world, and they're dire people that I absolutely care about. And those people aren't their political leaders. They're not. You know, it's sad. So eliminate that distraction. Start focusing. Get in touch and connect with your planner. You have the most amazing planner that's ever been created. Celia's been sending me up more planners that we see constantly, and they're selling these things on like Indiegogo, and they're making a killing on these things. We may Indiegogo our planner. We may do it, you know, because it's just so much better. The way the process works, and you go through it and you actually do it. So one of the things we're going to do is add some really crazy things that are going to be amazing to this. But that's what we're trying to teach you here is how to utilize your planner. So the first thing you got to do is you got to eliminate those distractions. And I just gave you some ideas on how to eliminate those distractions. There's things where you can lock yourself in the room and say, listen, put a thing on the wall and say, this is my time. Leave me alone. I'm not available during this slotted time. You need to find a way to get so focused into what you need to do to grow that distractions need to be killed. You need to kill them off. And I'll tell you, the first ones I just talked about, your phone, your TV, your Facebook, your email, are some of the biggest time distraction wasters in the world, and they completely get you off track of where you're going. I have such a tight schedule that I even have to leave this to go into my planner. I've done my 15 minutes here. I have about a 5-minute leeway and moving on to the next thing because boom, I have a big meeting with a company at 10 o'clock. So my distractions, I can't deal with a lot of these other people that are trying to hit me right now. In the process between here and there, I'm going to talk to my partner, Celia. But everybody else just has to wait because my meeting next is I'm talking to a company about becoming their corporate trainer to start working on their productivity, their efficiency, using this planner. So it's really important for me to really emphasize to you how you need to completely buy in to eliminating those distractions, to taking those steps to say it needs to wait. It can be another time. You don't need that answer right now. You're gonna live. You're gonna live. I'm living right now, and there's a lot of people that wish I was answering them right now, and they're going to live. It's going to be okay. It's going to get taken care of. So that's the biggest thing I can say to you today is just kill those distractions. And if there's a distraction that comes out, you got to be resourceful. I mean, I can't always just sit here and give you a specific answer to how you're going to fix that distraction. You can always send me a message and I can give you advice and feedback. I mean, you're a member. That's what this is about. We're accessible to you. But you also need to learn your resources. That's something that my daughter has learned in her school is the teachers are starting to say, okay, you need the answer to that, and I'm here to help you, and I'm willing to answer. But I really want you to use your resources, because the truth is most of the time you're going to figure out yourself. And now I see that in my daughter. She's using her resources. She gave a speech the other day on Facebook, and she did a Facebook Live, her first Facebook Live on her Boo Bully. She owns a nonprofit that's anti-bullying and teaching elementary schools kindness and leadership skills. And she did a Facebook Live, and it, like in a day, it had like 500 views, and over 1,200 people have seen it. And then a major news broadcaster picked it up and posted it on her Facebook page recently, and it's like, I mean, she's just gold. And she used her resources. I actually gave her the topic, just so you know. And then I said, you go figure it out. And she did that. Now she's ready to do another one. And she actually did the resources and figured out the topic herself, came and talked to me. I didn't even really give her any advice. I just was like, that's great. Now use your resources like you did before. And then she came back to me and told me what she's going to talk about. I can't wait to listen to her talk about that. So that's kind of what you want to do, is like use your resources even in your distractions. Use those resources and how to fix those problems. And you can use that in everything in your life. So have a great day. I'll see you guys next week. I got another great class for you next week. But 360 is really starting to amp up. You better watch out, because we've got a lot of amazing things that are coming and adding, and classes and buy-in. Start sharing and just start watching for what an amazing thing that we have brought to you. So have a great day.